Now the issue is, have we done anything to improve that aspect? How to work on Office? I asked Microsoft itself, this is the first time an event on Office is happening, but within your organization there may be Office training arranged or something like that, but that's on demand. If a user demands, they will arrange it, but if nobody demands, nobody does it. So, very important thought. All of us know how to handle business well. All of us have strived lifelong to improve everything in every aspect of business, whichever industry you come from. For everything there are policies, procedures, guidelines, and this is not static. We continuously try to improve it. We have auditors, we have external consultants come and help us. Very nice. But all this work, the managed part of business work, happens in the rest of 4 hours. The remaining 4 hours is Office related work which nobody has looked at. So do you have any of these for Office? A single page written on how to use Word, how to use Excel in a given business situation, not some copy paste from help file or a website. That's different. That's already there. Nobody goes there. And in spite of there being millions of free resources, nobody's efficiency has increased. So in some form that is ineffective. So that's the problem. So start looking at it from this point of view. Alright, so let's look at Outlook and see how to manage your inbox and various other things better. Now here is one important thing. Before internet came, we still did work, isn't it? Business still happened. There was profit. There was growth. So before internet came in, there was no inbox. What was there? Paper all over the place. We had an in tray. So what happens when you get something in your in tray that is pending work? Whenever you have time, you pick up that paper or papers or file, look at it, do something with it. Whatever you do. If you don't like the person who sent it to you, you may throw it in the dustbin, fine. But that's an action. Or you may take action, you may file it, you may reply, whatever it is, it does not go back into in tray. Do you agree? So inbox is an electronic version of in tray. So if you want to know what is effective mail management, there is a very simple benchmark. When you say I have finished my work, your inbox should be empty. Because that's how we used to work when there was no inbox. Anything new? Absolutely nothing. It's just continuing the thought in a more sophisticated manner. Obviously nobody has an empty inbox. I won't ask you to raise hands. But it is possible. And at the end of next 10 minutes you will know how. Now when I say empty, it need not necessarily have zero mails. Understand why in tray is there. In tray will have some paper till you have had time to handle it. So let's say you handle mail every hour. So whatever mail drops into inbox during that hour or day or week, whatever your frequency is, that is allowed to be there. Once you handle it, it has no business to be in inbox. That's all I'm saying. So look at it that way. The real problem is this. I'm not even saying you handle all mails, but at least you should be able to prioritize which one. And the problem with Outlook is the method of prioritization simply means sorting on something. Am I right? So sort on what? Will give you a sorting order where the mails on top will be important and mails at the bottom will be less important. The obvious one seems to be this flag, which is importance flag. But that's not correct. Why?
Somebody else's idea of the priority.
This is the sender's idea of priority, not yours. Unless you have put it, which we never. Agreed? So this is useless. From has no meaning. People who start their name with A will have undue advantage. If you start with subject, most mails will be RE or FW. It doesn't make any sense. Larger size mail doesn't mean anything. So anyway, nothing is making any sense. So we settle for a compromise called time. Why? At least it satisfies the curiosity as to what is new. That's all. Is it important? No. Just because the mail came now doesn't mean the mail which came 7 minutes back is less important. It doesn't make any logical sense. But anyway, nothing else is making sense. So we use it. That's how we prioritize. So we need a method by which we can prioritize without worrying about the content and size and stuff like that. So here is a very simple way to do that. You received the mail, that means your name must be somewhere. Where can it be? One of the three places. So depending on where your name is, you can assign a priority to it. If yours is the only name, obviously that's most important because the sender depends entirely on you to do something or respond, review, take action, whatever it might be. So that's most important. If there are other people's names, you can safely say others are less busy than I am and let them do it. So you give them benefit of doubt, but it's still actionable. And CC and BCC are not really actionable. That's why I put CC far away. I have not even given a number to it. So ideally I should have put BCC also here. But I have not done that because in BCC there is a curiosity. Why does the sender doesn't want others to know that I know? So it plays a significant role in office politics. So that's why I have kept it at higher priority. But CC is absolutely dumb. You don't waste time reading it unless you have done the rest of it. So if you have limited time and maybe you have 1,000 mails pending, you need to figure out which are these mails. Because these are absolutely actionable. Then the next these, and these maybe, and these definitely not. Understand? This is how we prioritize. Any questions? Make sense or doesn't make sense?
Makes sense.
Am I going too fast? Is it good speed or can I go faster? This is okay? Alright, so how do you draw on screen? Is it useful? I could have put that in animation, but if you do it live, it has better impact. How do you draw on screen? Just press F1, read all the options, you will know the answer. I won't give you the answer. So that when you go back, at least you press that F1. So it's Control P. Converts the thing to a drawing thing. Now suppose I use this to explain it. I finished explaining it, but I still want to continue talking on the slide. That drawing is interfering with it now. So you want to erase it. So press E. E to erase it. Now suppose you have drawn many things and these were not just random thoughts, there were some process, step-by-step process, and maybe there's a brainstorming going on and you say, okay, this process is wrong, this step I want to erase. E will erase everything. So you may want to erase selectively. So that's Control E. It becomes an eraser now. But imagine in front of everyone, like paintbrush, if you go carefully and try to erase this, people will walk out. So this eraser is smart. You just drag and touch the diagram, it will go. So it remembers the strokes. And the last part, which is very important, if you draw something and that happens to be useful, not just for explaining. This was not a teaching session, this was a brainstorming session and something evolved there, which typically evolves on a whiteboard. What do you want to do with it? You want to keep it. So if you go ahead to the next option, next slide, come back, it is still there. But what if you end the presentation? What should happen to it now? It should be erased or kept?
Yeah, I'd like to think it's still there so you can do a file
Yes,
save.
correct. So it is not a decision PowerPoint can take. You can take that decision. So when you end the presentation, PowerPoint asks you, what should I do? So if it's useful, keep it, otherwise discard it. So this is how you will keep it. Go to that slide, copy that slide and send it to everyone. Otherwise, if you are doing the same thing on a whiteboard, everyone has to forcibly draw that same diagram in their own visualization in individual notepads. So in this case, I'm going to discard it. But the idea is this. Got the idea? Now this is theory. How to practice it. If you go to each mail, open it and then search for your mail, half the time you will spend there. Because there may be so many mails, so many names in a particular mail. In fact, many times you have to scroll that to or CC. So there has to be a better way of figuring this out. Now imagine you going through mailbox containing 200 unread mails, opening each mail, looking for your name and then taking action. Is it good work or dirty work? Dirty work. So what is the fashion? Fill in the blanks. Yes, that is called, the fashionable term for that is? Sorry? No, it's not delegate. No, it's not delegate. There is even more fashionable word nowadays. So now, of course, you can't outsource email management to an external agency or even your subordinate. So where should you outsource it to? To Office, to Outlook. So that's the important thing. Be your own auditor, find the dirty work you do, outsource it to the product. That's what it is designed for. That is how you will liberate more time to do the real stuff. So how do we do that? We go and use what are called as rules. You hate to follow rules, but Outlook doesn't. It follows rules absolutely well. So you create rule and follow it. Maybe you're already using rules. Anyone use any kind of Outlook rules? I'm sure. Very nice. So we just have to create one more rule to get this done. You go to manage rules and alerts. I'm assuming there are more rules already there. In this case it's a demo, so it's blank. We go to new rules, apply when the messages arrive. Easy. Remember, there can be rules on outbox also, which is very useful when you want to file outgoing messages by customer or project based on some subject line or something like that. So keep that in mind. Normally most people do inbox rules and they never think of outbox rules. So that's why I'm mentioning this. So let's create a rule. Now here is one more thing. When you go to a new place, read everything. So which option do we need? As of now, I want to classify my mails into just two categories, important and not important. Sent only to me. Now, what is the last option? That's not the last option. We can't see the last option. I know you know that, but we never scroll. So like I showed one rule which says when you see a drop down, please drop it down. I have to tell the world, please scroll when you see a scroll bar. Otherwise, those ideas would be missed out. This is very useful. If you have multiple address books and you want to do something based on a specific address book, it's very nice. Or in a specific date span, you are doing a time-bound project and within that you want to do some specific rule. So there are options which are below, which happen to have a scroll bar because there was no space. That doesn't mean they are less important. So please scroll, you will get better ideas. Okay, sent only to me. And then what do I want to do? I just want to mark it in my inbox in such a way I can pick and choose that mail quickly. So that is done by assigning a category to it. Okay. Now assume right now my rules are empty. I don't have any other rule. In your place, there will be other rules also there. Correct? Those rules may be for filing. Those rules may be for various other things. So the order in which rules are created matters. So this rule you have to move up because this should be the one which runs first. Now depending on what rules you have, you may change the order. But such kind of rules need one more action. Don't process more rules because next rule we are going to do is my name in CC? Is my name in BCC? Are other people's names in to list? Those rules should not run on this mail because I am already on the to list. So this is a very important thing you should know. So let me choose a category. Everyone uses categories. It's like flags. Older version we had that red flag and there were 5 other kinds of colors there. That was a limitation. Why? Because first people said we want more color. But even if more colors were given, people wouldn't remember what purple meant when I applied purple. 6 months later you forget. And another problem was, let's say you say purple means mail from boss and pink means print. Now there could be a mail from boss which you need to print. In older version, 2 colors cannot be applied, only one colored flag. So for these 2 limitations, Microsoft created a new feature where you can get more than 5 colors, 25 to be precise, and you can give it a name so that you remember it. So in my case, I have customized it by saying green means high. So that's it. So what does our rule say now? When my name is the only name, assign it to this category. That's all. Now this rule will get activated as soon as I do send receive next time onwards. But I already have mails in my inbox. So remember to do this so that it will classify the pending mails as well. So the moment you do that, you will notice that this has got categorized. So now